beautiful YouTube peeps? What is good? We are back in the building for another episode of Mars Room. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. To the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Listen, I'm getting ready to read to you guys a Neville excerpt from one of his speeches back in the day. I couldn't find exactly what speech this was from. I don't remember, but if I do find it, I will link it in the description below at some point, or if somebody else knows, maybe one of you guys that are watching this video could link it in the description below. But what I'm getting ready to get into is kind of part of what Neville talks about in timing of your manifestation, because I know a lot of you guys struggle with time, and I know a lot of you guys struggle with, like, you want whatever you want so bad, and I get it. We've all been there. And I think a big mistake a lot of people place on their manifestations, potentially, and again, not all, but some, because like you guys know, I say religiously in all my videos, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach to any of this stuff in life. But a lot of mistakes I see you guys making is you place deadlines on your manifestations, not realizing just because you set a deadline for something doesn't mean you're going to get it at that deadline. And so I think this excerpt that I'm getting ready to read from Neville right here from one of his lectures is a perfect example of what to expect when placing a desire and putting it out there in the universe, or living in whatever the assumption is. And let's go over this excerpt and let's kind of break it down, step by step, in my thought process, in my opinion, of how I see what Neville is saying. All right, let's get into it. So Neville says, you put it into the seed, into the ground of your own wonderful human imagination. Now, bear in mind, the vision has its own appointed hour. Clear as day, the vision has its own appointed hour. Not your appointed hour. Not when Sally wants it to happen. Not when John says, oh, this weekend it's going to happen. No, its own appointed hour. Own appointed hour. Remember that. Own appointed hour, okay? It ripens, it will flower. If it be long, wait for it. It is sure and it will not be late. If it be long, wait for it. How bad do you want your desire? If it's going to be long, then wait for it. I remember one of the things Neville was manifesting with, I think it was him and his brother. That manifestation took a couple years, But like Neville just said, if it be long, wait for it. For it is sure and it will not be late, meaning it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, right? Not for that seed. One seed, not for that seed. One seed may take 24 hours. Another seed may take, like a hen's egg, 21 days. A little lamb takes 5 months. A horse takes a year. A human being takes 9 months. So each seed has its own appointed hour. I think this is a perfect example. And I've said this before religiously. For instance, with babies, like, there's no way a man and a woman can sleep together and the man gets mad at the woman for not having a baby the next day. It takes 9 months to have a baby properly, unless you want to have a deformed baby. You want the baby to come out early? Do you really want the baby to come out early? Because if the baby comes out early, you're gonna end up having a deformed, most likely, baby, a retarded baby, a baby that didn't allow the faculties and the processes in its body to develop properly. But this is a great parallel to how manifestation works, and why a lot of you guys end up failing with manifestation is because you want your manifestations earlier than you're actually supposed to get it. You think you want something, you think you want it fast, but then what ends up happening is you end up getting it, but just as fast as you get it, you lose it because it didn't take time to mature. Just like he says, the hen's egg, 21 days. It needs that 21 days. Not 10 days, not 5 days, not 15 days, 21 days. The lamb needs 5 months to come out properly, to bake properly. Human beings, 9 months. A horse, a year. Nature never rushes. And guess what? Your manifestations don't rush either. You might think your manifestations rush, but they really don't. And if they do rush, I can pretty much guarantee things that come fast to a lot of people, a lot of times, most, and not all cases, but a lot of times things that come fast to people, you end up losing it. because of this example right here, what Neville says, right? All right, so let's continue. So don't be concerned, you did the work. All you need to do is to leave it alone and don't raise one finger to make it so, and don't discuss it with anyone else. And I'll leave it at that. And I think this is a key part too, because don't be concerned, you did the work. The only work that you needed to do was to put the intention out there, to get into alignment, to feel it like it's already real. Don't need to lift a finger to do it. The universe will naturally, and I said this religiously in other videos, the universe will naturally move the chess pieces for you. You're not going to have to figure out, oh man, should I make this phone call? Oh man, should I come up with this routine and get up every single day and do X, Y, and Z? You're not going to have to figure out any of that. The universe is naturally going to give you the intuition. I said this to clients in the past, and I made posts about this, and I said this to people. I tell people all the time, prayer is you telephoning to God. Intuition is God telephoning to you. The biggest mistake I see with manifestation, in my opinion, is people do not have the awareness. They do not have the perspicacity to listen to their intuition. Your intuition is always constantly trying to speak to you. But most people, we just move through life like zombies. We're so caught up and we don't pay attention to the signs. We don't know how to quiet our minds. We don't know how to listen to that inner being, because our inner being is always trying to communicate with us, but we always miss the signs religiously. We don't have that brain-heart coherence, so there's no synergy, and we're out of whack, and we're just trying to live life on a whim. And we say, oh, there's no signs. Oh, there's no birds before it lands. No, there's always signs. There's always birds before it lands. But the question is, are you in alignment to be able to see that and hear that? And most likely, in most cases, no, most people aren't in alignment to see that and hear that, right? And I think what he says also at the end too is don't discuss it with anyone else. Another major problem I see with people, and I just had a session with a client recently where I told her, I said, listen, I understand you want, this person, but if you want this person based on this person's circumstances and their past, most of your family and your friends are not going to approve of it. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. They're going to say, no, you shouldn't want him. But if you know that's what you really actually want, go for it. Go for it. I'm not judging you. Other people shouldn't judge you, but they will. But understand, if this is the person that you want and you're going to manifest this specific person into your life because you want a relationship with this person, understand, do not share that with anybody, because they are going to shoot down your dream. They're going to tell you there's better options out there. They're going to tell you you're better than that. You deserve better. You are the prize, all of that good stuff. And you can get deterred from doing and trying to manifest what it is that your heart's actual desire is. So you guys got to be careful. And I know me personally, I really never share anything that I'm, manifesting in my life or anything. Well, even if I'm not manifesting unintentionally, like I just personally have gotten to a point to where I don't share anything with anybody really, because I understand most people don't understand how LOA works. And even if they did, they would look at you like you're crazy. And I just don't want anybody else's negative thoughts, negative emotions or whatever coming in and people throwing their insecurities and their fears onto me in the form of advice. So I always, and it's natural now, where I always just keep most things to myself, unless I'm having a conversation with a friend who I know is on the same vibe as me, the same page as me. Then I can sit here and say, okay, yeah, maybe I can open up to this person and talk to this person about X, Y, and Z. But guys, listen, go back and rewind this video and reread this passage again, because it's such a simple passage. It's a rudimentary passage in my opinion, but there's so many gems in what Neville said, especially the whole time thing. And like Neville basically saying, like I said, to recap, be patient. If it takes long, it takes long. Be patient. It's going to happen at the right time, whether it's 9 months, whether it's 5 months, whether it's 21 days, whether it's a year. All manifestations take time. We all have our Achilles heels with manifesting certain things. We all have that one area in our life where it seems it takes so long for something to manifest, and we get upset, we get frustrated. But then you look at all these other things, you say, oh, why does A, B, and C happen fast, But then when I get to D always takes forever. Because that's a topic you have a lot of resistance around and you don't really believe. Your subconscious mind, your mind is not believing what you're telling it about that issue because you're putting so much emphasis on it. And that's something that I always preach is take the emphasis off of stuff. Have fun with it instead of making it so serious, because I think this is another mistake people make is they start taking LOA so serious and they start thinking, oh, if I don't do it, then it's not going to manifest. If I don't do the work, if I skip a day, then I'm going to fail. If I overdo it, then I'm going to fail. If I don't do it, then I'm going to fail. And it's like, yo, listen, don't turn this into a job. Don't turn this into a homework assignment. This isn't, 6th grade, 7th grade where you got a science project due. It's life. Every day we're manifesting. Every day we can undo manifestations that we've already created. There is no right or wrong. It's a matter of getting to the flow and figuring out what works best for you and stop comparing yourself to other people, because comparison is the thief of joy 100%, especially in today's social media age. So like Neville says, keep that ish to yourself. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell your mama. Don't tell your brother. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell your grandmother. Don't tell nobody. Keep that stuff to yourself. Persist, and you'll see it in due time. Marv back for another episode of Marv's Room. I will see y'all next time. You know where, you know when.